everyone, it's Leisha, also known as Valkyali, and today I'm going to be doing the Pidgeotto makeup. I always get the second and third evolution of Pidgey mixed up in names almost all the time. Right. So, I'm going to be doing that today. I think it's going to be pretty fun. I'm going to start with my normal stuff where I'm moisturizing. So my makeup stuff is over here right now, on like the side of me, so I'm going to be turning to grab some stuff every once in a while. Alright, the Daily Aveeno Moisturizing Lotion, done. Let it sit for a couple of minutes. While I do that, I'm going to just talk a little bit about what's going on. So I started streaming again yesterday, so make sure you are following me on Twitch, because I will be also going live today at 11 o'clock is the plan, 11 Central Time, because I think we're on Central. Or it's Eastern Standard. I think it's Central. Alright, I'm going to put on some e.l.f. Holy Hydration, because I have quite dry skin. Makeup will dry me out, and then I am gonna take a shower and wash this off again, because I am going to be doing my foundation like I normally do, yada yada yada. I will also prime my lips. And we're going to get right into the foundation. I will start, it's going to be Buff Bisque in the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. As I've said, this is typically whenever I am tan. I am the shade, but I am not tan right now, because I see no point in going outside or doing really anything. So I'm just going to bring it far down on my neck. And I'm going to tap this out. I am going to bring it onto my ears, because as I said before, make sure you have it on your ears or it won't look right, because you'll just have whatever color ears you normally have and then the other shade. Alright. So something I've been watching on YouTube recently is Illuminati is her name, but the naughty is spelled N-A-U-G-H-T-I-I, and she goes over like a lot of different things like MLMs and stuff, and she researches a bunch of them. And there was one on there that like was just so new to me, called it's like a mermaid MLM thing. That video I really enjoyed because it was really good. And then there was one that I was looking for, because I was like, I actually had a family member who was a part of this MLM. It was my ex-stepmother. She was into multiple MLMs, but this one, she was actually a little successful at. She recruited plenty of people, and she made a bunch of clients all across the state that we lived in. And it was, I don't know why I started with my foundation first. It's whatever. It was called Pure Romance. And I think it's still functioning to this day. It's a really crazy story. You should definitely watch a video about it. But I'm going to talk a little bit about, I guess, my personal experience with that. From, like, how to, one of family members in an MLM. And it being a parent or an ex-parent of mine. She was the only person I knew that got into MLMs, except for she got people into them too. Alright, I think a little bit more coverage just right there. Don't you guys start fighting. Okay. So I think she got into it when I was in about 5th grade is when I remember my dad talking about it. And my dad's like, I really don't think this is, like, a smart option. He was like, only because, like, I don't trust it. It kind of seems a little, like, sketchy. He's like, kind of seems like a pyramid scheme. And she's like, no, it's not a pyramid scheme because pyramid schemes only with money. This actually has a product. And I'm like, yeah, that's how they sell you on the idea that it's not a pyramid scheme. And she was like, no, it'll be okay. And if you guys don't know what Pure Romance sells, I mean, I think you can get it from the title of the video, or the title of the company. They, sell a lot of adult products and things. Like, there was this, like, essence that you could, like, roll on your arms, and it was apparently supposed to make your pheromones more pronounced and stuff. That was a big seller that she always tried to sell, I guess, because, I don't know, you were in a suburban area. I guess suburban women aren't loved. Alright, I'm taking the e.l.f. 16-hour camo concealer, and I'm going to start working on my eyes. Which I do have a plan for these. Which I should have done this first, but it's okay. I'm going to do the top of my eyes first, and then I'm going to do, like, my concealer and all that, and then I'll do the bottom lash line. Alright, so... yeah, but they sold things like that and just, like, adult stuff in general. And, she was like, no, they actually sell products, and she went to a bunch of different, like, it was actually, like, women in in our, like, schools and stuff. And she would start talking about, like, how she has this thing going, and she gave, like, the name of the company. She said, look it up, and then come back to me if you want to set anything up about it. And she had, like, this entire, like, kit she bought everything for to, like, have a party with, and it was weird stuff, like cookie cutter weird things. But anyways, she got, like, her bag of product, and then she didn't hide it very well from us, and they found, like, my sisters found things. Stop with the bag, dude. Oh god, okay. My sisters found things that they really shouldn't have found. I am setting with the shade Pink Peony in the Lorac Mega Pro 4 palette. Alright, take the bag away from my cat. Now I'm going to blend this side out. Yeah, she would be like, look it up, and then give them her card or whatever. I guess you used to be able to buy, like, business cards through the company, and they'd, like, put your name on it. And where it came in the package, I really don't know, but she'd give them that. And she'd get a bunch of calls. She charged for setting the parties up. That's where she made a lot of the money, is from those damn parties. And, like, saying, oh, it's going to cost, like, $300 for everything to set up the party. And that's not including the product. She's like, she'd bring her product and she'd talk. And these parties would last hours at a time. And it would either be at our house or at somebody else's house. And you knew when she had a party because there was a big old banner that she'd put on the outside of the house that like said like, if you want pure romance, enter the store, or like some shit like that. She ordered it off of some website. Now I'm going to go into shade now, because I think I used shade Mocha last time. We're going to use different shades this time. I'm going to go into this, not that shade. This shade, can you focus on the palette, damn it? This shade right here. I'm going to tap into that a few times. Yeah. I'm going to tap that on the outer corner. Okay. Alright. Going to tap again. You're a little dusty, aren't you? Not a lot of pigment either. Okay. This is not what I wanted at all. Why is it not showing up on my eye? Okay, I'm gonna give up. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other eye though, because as I've said before, you have to do the same thing on the other side or it will not work, because that's always gonna be underneath your other side of your eye. And your colors could not properly mix. Blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. Anyways, she would like charge to set up the parties. And I think her consultant might have told her that. There wasn't really anybody else in her town that was doing it. Until she recruited a couple more women. But they didn't really do much of anything. Alright, I'm going to go into this dark brown shade right here. Maybe this will go better. I don't know, maybe it was just a lighter shade. It's a little bit better, yeah. Huh. I've been having some trouble with these shadows recently. I haven't been doing anything different from normal. I've always set my concealer. I've always used concealer, but a lot of my shadows are acting a little different, or I've just never really noticed that they're being weird when I set my eyes. And if I don't set my eyes when I use concealer, it just creases a bunch, so I don't have a choice. Going back into the shade again, just to build it up some. And maybe it's because I have better lighting when I do my makeup that I'm finally noticing the little nuances of everything. It's probably that too. Alright, but there is a lot of fallout, and I probably never noticed it before, but there's a shit ton of fallout. I was like, I don't want to use the same browns from the palette before, and I'm like, I regret that now. Should have. Okay. Now I'm going to grab this other blending brush right here. I'm going to grab shade Butterscotch out of the Lorac Mega Pro 4 palette. I'm going to blend this out some. That does not seem like that's a good idea though, because it is starting to become pretty sparse. Oh God. Yeah, you can see how patchy it is. And then there's this entire area right here that just disappeared. Okay, well, I'm going to go to the Lorac Mega Pro 4 palette. I didn't want to do that. Or I could try this palette right here. Alright. I'm going to go into the Conspiracy palette. I'm going to go into Diet Root Beer. And see if that can save this somewhat. There we go. I am going to bring it out just a little bit like that. Whoa, a lot of fallout. A lot of fallout. This is why I should have done my foundation later, because I don't have to cover that up. That was a mistake on my part, because I typically do it that way, but I forgot. Alright, Diet Root Beer. Knock off the excess. Just stamp it on. Get a little bit more. Bring it out just a little bit. And I'll fix it later with some concealer. Okay, this looks much better now. That was going kind of horribly wrong. Alright. I'm going to grab some more foundation. I'm just going to... And then I'm going to do my concealer and stuff like I said. And I will bring a line like kind of this way to kind of cut into the eyeshadow and kind of get the line that I kind of want. Okay, now I'm going to go and grab the Maybelline Fit Me concealer, and I'm going to do a dot here and a couple of dots there, a dot here and a couple of dots here. And now I'm going to continue to kind of bring it across. Alright, now I'm going to set just that for right now. Alright, I'm going to grab this brush, and I'm going to grab the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow powder. And I'm just going to set my under eye for right now. I'm going to use this little brush that I used to set my concealer, because it just works really, really well to pack on powder in the areas that you need it to. I use this also when I'm just doing quick, simple makeup. Anyways, back to the stories. I was telling before my eyeshadow went to absolute shit. So she would set up these parties, and we got kicked out a lot of the house, because whenever she was setting up, we couldn't be in the house because we're like children. So she would kick us out, but also she didn't try to hide her products at all. So like you could just walk into the closet and you could just find a big bag of stuff, and like half of it was spilling out. Also, her friends would only talk about that shit, like, oh, I want this product or this, when we would go over, and they had really not good conversations to have children. Like to have around with children. It kind of became her life, and like that's all she would do, talk about, like, spend money on. She was making a net profit. I'm taking this concealer and I'm just drawing on the line to then blend this out. Now I gotta do my JoJo nose, as I call it. Now, I'm going to blend all this out. I'm going to start down here. Really love to use this as a contour when I can. And I try not to do it super duper intense because I don't want to look psychotic. Not that I look normal right now. But anyhow, so it was just really awkward times, and my dad kind of didn't like it because he was like, "Why are you have this stuff in the household with our children?" Because I was the oldest, and I was like in 5th grade, so I think you're 11 or 12 in 5th grade? You're 12. I was 13 though, but my dad was still really uncomfortable because my sisters were like 7 and like 4. And my dad's like, this was really weird to have with children in the house. Alright, now I'm going to grab the concealer again, and I'm going to put that on my nose in the way I like to do it. I'm going to put a tap right there and bring a line right here, do a little bit on the forehead, and do a little bit on the chin. And I'm going to blend this out. So I've been getting a lot more on Instagram than normal, but I've been getting a lot of brands that are like, be part of our ambassador program, and I'm like, no, because I have to buy from you. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but I don't have, freaking social media money. I have college kid money, which is no money. So they're asking me like, oh, you get 20% off your order or something, and I'm like, yeah, no. Give me 100% off my order. Also, if they do, they're like, you pick out any 5 pieces of whatever, but they charge you shipping, and the shipping's like $30, and so pretty much you're just paying for the product, because the product does not cost more than $30. There was some company that was like, oh, we'll give you jewelry for free. And I was like, okay, cool. And so I knew, I like had it in my soul that I was going to have to pay for shipping. I just kind of knew. This eyeshadow is so patchy today, my lord. I just kind of felt like I was going to have to pay for shipping. But I was like, you know what? Might as well just look at the website anyways. And then it said shipping. And I said, hey, it says I have to pay for shipping. And they're like, yeah, you have to pay for shipping. And I said, yeah, no. And they're like, what? I said, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm like, because it's like $30 worth of shipping. I said, essentially, I'm paying for the product. And they got offended by that statement. She's like, no, that's not what's happening. The products are worth like $60 for each piece. And I was like, I guarantee you I could go right now on like AliExpress and I could find the same exact shit in a 5-pack for like $20 for all 5 of them. but whatever. And it seemed like they bought followers anyways. So I was just like, I'm just gonna see. Because I'm a curious person, and I'm like, there's no way this is legit. Like, no way. And all their advertising was from other customers, which is really weird. And they weren't like big, I'm going back in with Diet Root Beer. They weren't like big influencers. They weren't like freaking Nikki Tutorials. They weren't from anyone that's actually like a big name in like any world. And so whenever I looked at their Instagram page, it was all people with like maybe a couple more hundred followers than me on freaking Instagram, and they'd have their other social medias, and I'd look at their other social medias, because sometimes, you know, they'll give a YouTuber a product, and they'll be like, hey, you know, make a YouTube video and post one Instagram picture with their product. So I went to see if they had any other products, or like any other thing on their social media, and they did not. And either they didn't have other social media, and I'm like, yeah, no, they wouldn't just be doing this for anybody. So like, I knew it was like fake. They were trying to play it off like it wasn't that, but it clearly was. All right, now I think I'm going to big yawn, Alice, big yawn. I'm going to grab my little glitter base. I'm going to put some on my finger, and then I'm going to tap this kind of just on the very inner part of my eyelid. And I'm going to take the other part of it and tap that on my eyelid. Anyways, they're like, yeah, and we'll give you a 20% off code for all of your followers. And I'm like, yeah, all 330 of them. Because if you guys don't know, there's an idea in like business, essentially, like what your, I think it's called, I forget what it's called, but it's something rate. And essentially that's how many people that you get to that will buy from you when you try to sell them a product. So say, and it's typically for every 100 people, you get 2 sales out of every 100 people. All right, I use the shade Foam from the Rock Mega Pro 4 palette. But, yeah. So essentially that's what is, it's typically 2% of a sales rate. I forget exactly what it's called, but it's a thing. And that is, you know, that's why I was actually, when I heard that, I was really surprised, because my ex-stepmom did actually a pretty good job of selling to people then, because she got like, she'd get a party of like 10 people, and like 8 people would buy product, and the other, you know, 2 were like, I'll probably call you and order from you later, and a lot of them would, or they would call and set up a party, and they would do it. And I think she also gave like part of the commission to the person that had the party going as well. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab, not that brush. Where's the brush I want? This is the brush I would like to have, thank you. Alright, so this makeup is really not doing good today, but it's okay. If you don't close your eyes, you can't really tell. So I'm going back into the Conspiracy palette. And if you've ever seen Pidgeotto, or is it Pidgeotto? I think it's Pidgeotto. He has just red on his head. And I'm going to go into Flaming Hot in the Conspiracy palette. I'm going to go underneath, and I'm going to follow the line of where I put the line on the top, and I'm going to follow it. So continuing it. And with this red, you really have to like kind of build it up. That's just kind of how you have to do it, which is okay. And I mean, especially for reds, you kind of want it that way, because you don't want to just put the red on and then it just be there, because it's much easier to add product than take product away. And I'm going to kind of go a little far with it, because it's kind of like a big floof thing on the back of his head. All right, I'm just going to continue building that up on like the very edge of it, can kind of be like that. And then I'm going to take and bring a line like this right here, and then build that up as well, and bring a line down like this. And yeah, I've been like doing like the lines and stuff for the makeup, because especially when it comes to things that have wings, you know what I mean? It evokes the feeling, I guess, is the idea. And I will build up the red on the bottom lash line. I'm going to continue to build up the red. Okay, now I'm going to do this on the other side. Sorry if you can hear like lawnmowers in the background. I guess my apartment complex is having them work on the lawns right now. Looks much better on this side, but it's okay. It's okay. Bring it down. Again, kind of just sketching out the shape a little bit. Yeah, this side looks so much better. I just can't get the points like I did on the other side. Because I want it to kind of have a point to it, but I'm not being able to get it. So I'll probably clean it up with some concealer on both sides to kind of get a more sharp lines with it, which I guess will be okay. Really, concealer does fix half of everything when it comes to makeup. All right, or foundation, so it can continue to be the same shade. I think I'll do foundation, because that especially is very not good. Anyways, she did that stuff for a long time too. I think it was about, for like when, how much time she spent doing MLM. She did that one for about 2 years. The other one she did about like 8 months each, I think. Long enough to get her product, set up a few parties, go to a couple of meetings, realize she didn't like it, and leave. The only thing about, I think that kind of made her stop doing the whole pure romance stuff was because the women in church, because she started going to church again, and they kind of started talking about it, and people were kind of wary to be her friend because of it, so she stopped to be more accepted at church. And legitimately, I think is the only reason why. Because we started heavily going back to church in like 7th grade. We started in like 6th, and then in 7th grade they started really going back. And then I moved, and then I stopped going to church altogether. Alright. Now I gotta grab the other brush that I use to clean up when like I have concealer and stuff. This is not the brush, nor is this the brush. Where is the brush? I think it's right here. No, it's not that one. That one's too thick. All right, I'll use a different brush than I normally do because I can't find it right now. All right, so I just had a CVS just called me. Don't know why. Don't really care. All right, so I'm going to grab this little bit of the foundation on my brush and going to clean up the edges. Going to take it and I'm going to kind of come up on it and then kind of blend it out some. Yeah, see, I was expecting that to happen, where the red would kind of bleed in with the foundation, but it'll be okay. Alright, that works. But I kind of cut off half the wing, which I'll just have to do on the other side too. But it's okay. It's not what I wanted, but it's better than what I just had before. That's for sure. Alright. Now I'm just going to cut it off. And I'm going to blend out the foundation some. I am going to thicken up this side just a little bit. Like actually just a little bit. So it can kind of match the other side a little bit better. Okay. Now I gotta grab the other brush again. I feel like this is gonna be half the makeup is fixing the makeup. Really not wanting to do what I want it to do. There we go, I guess. Alright, now I'm going to clean up the other lines. See, there we go. Okay. grab some more Flaming Hot. Kind of. Oh. There we go. Alright, I don't think there's even a point in setting it, because I'm going to wash it off pretty soon. Alright, but now I'm going to grab my blush, and I'm going to make that pretty pink, because there is, you know, obviously pink on the little feet and the beak. So I'm going to go into this e.l.f. like face palette. I'm going to grab, I think, this shade right here to kind of top, knock off the excess, because this is really, really, really pigmented. I'm going to smile, kind of just tap it on. See, that's like not that much blush in the grand scheme of how much blush I typically use with my other stuff. And I'm going to grab some more, and I'm going to kind of focus it right here in the apples of my cheeks and kind of blend it out some. Then I'm going to grab a tiny, 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 tiny bit and just put it on the very tip of my nose. Okay. I'm going to focus it on the very apples of my cheeks, and then, oopsie, yep, that's not what I wanted. Oh, dear God. That's too much, even for me. Okay, so how we are going to deal with this problem is we are going to grab the Infallible Pro powder again, swirl that in our brush, and then kind of tap it on top. Alright, and it's still a little more intense on the other side. So I'm going to be super light-handed, like more light-handed than I've ever been. I'm just going to lightly tap into it, blend it onto my face until it's kind of similar on both sides. Okay, tap just very lightly. Because you don't need a lot, and I made that mistake. I didn't realize how pigmented it was going to be because, you know, it's e.l.f. and people underestimate e.l.f. all the time. Because they're like, nah, it's drugstore and it's cheap. It can't be pigmented as fuck. But it is. Alright, now I'm going to grab my highlighting brush because we are going to do the favorite part of any of my makeup, which is my highlight. Alright, grab the Too Faced highlighter because one day I will get through this highlighter. I swear. Actually, no, I'm not going to use this. I know what I'm going to use. Yeah, I'm going to use this instead because it's a little bit pinky and I'm trying to like invoke pink. Okay, so I'm going to take this Wet n Wild Mega Glow Illuminating Palette in the shade Catwalk Pink, and I'm going to just go across the entire palette, tap off all the excess. There's a lot of excess. Alright. I'm going to grab my spray like I normally do, and I'm going to spritz it. And then I'm going to add it to my face. And it's not super highlighty, so we're going to add some more. And then on my nose, because I like a super shiny nose, and then a lower on my lips, and on my chin. Ugh, the water in that bottle smells weird. Okay, now I'm going to do it on the other side, and this time I'm not going to tap off the excess. I'm just going to spray it and swipe it on. You see how it kind of has that gray effect? I don't like when highlighters do that. But I mean, if they're gonna do it, I might as well have them do it on the side I'm really not gonna take pictures on. Okay, now I'm gonna move on to my eyebrows. Oh my gosh. I made such a mess all over this palette. I'm going to go into shade Cedar. I'm going to draw the line on the bottom right here. Then I'm going to take the excess and kind of fill in the corner. And then just kind of continue to fill it in. And then I'll take that powder that was on the bottom line and I will blend it up. That's how I like to do my eyebrows for right now. How I do my eyebrows kind of change every, couple of months. I used to not do them at all, and when I started doing them, my makeup always looked 300 times better. With this eyebrow, I do kind of have to grab extra for the tail. I just use this, it's actually an eyeliner brush, but I really like it for doing this. Alright, now I'm going to grab my clear mascara that I use for my eyebrows because it lasts a long time and the eyebrows just don't come off. But I am going to wash this off, but I need this shape of my brows to be the shape I'd like them to be. So I brush up and then I kind of go out. Oh, I got a little bit too much right there. It's okay. There we go. And now I'm going to do my mascara. I'm going to use the Mega Length Wet n Wild mascara. Oop, okay. Okay, there's a little hair on my, no, tap into my lashes like I normally do, and I'm going to bring it on the bottom lash line. Just keeps tipping over. Also, this brush is not supposed to be bent like this. I was putting it back into the bottle one time and I missed it properly putting it back inside and it just bent and I couldn't get it to go back. But I actually don't mind that it's bent. It kind of helps me do it a little bit better. Okay, my mascara is oh, lovely. Okay, I guess while that dries, so I can actually take that off, because I have to wait till it dries and then I can just with the brush and it'll come right off. Okay, I'm going to go into this thing again and I'm just going to swirl a couple of times and I'm going to take what I get on my finger. I'm just going to pop that into my inner corner and nothing is showing up. Okay, try it this way. And then below my brow bone. Yeah, this highlighter, I don't know about all this, but I mean, I'll use it. I'll continue to use it. I always find uses for everything, and I use everything because I don't like to waste makeup. Alright, now I'm going to grab a lipstick that's kind of pink in tone. I can't find my other lipstick that I actually use that is more of a pink tone. I'm going to take this. It's the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in, I don't know how to pronounce this word, Antwerp? I don't know. Going to take it. This is not as light pink as I'd like it to be, but I don't have anything else that is more accurate to the color right now. I used to, but I had to throw that lipstick away because it expired and started burning my lips, so yeah. And then I kind of take the edge of it, and I do this with a lot of lipsticks. I take and I kind of blend the edges out somewhat with the actual lipstick, like the lipstick edge itself. Okay, and just so it's not nearly as harsh. And I will now take this lip gloss. I'm going to just put some on the back of my hand, and I'm going to swipe it off the back of my hand and tap it onto my lips, just so I don't destroy the gloss, because that happens. If you take and put a gloss over top of lipstick and put it back into the bottle, the lipstick will kind of get all over it. And then, well, that's how I started doing glossy lips. Alright, now I'm going to take and I'm going to just scrape this freaking mascara off my eye. Now I'm going to go brush my hair, and I'm going to take pictures in this makeup before I go wash it off. I kind of like it. I kind of hate it. I'd like it if it was more pigmented and I could actually blend it out more properly, but it's okay. I will live with it. I mean, not every look's going to be good, but a lot of the other ones are, so I'm pretty proud of those ones. But anyways, everyone have a wonderful rest of your day. Be good, people. Drink plenty of water. Follow me at Twitch on Valkyali. Follow me on Instagram at Valkyali. Subscribe here. Like the video if you liked it. Dislike it if you dislike it. And also you can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Cynical. And I kind of just post when I'm going to be going live on Twitch. And then I also say other stupid things. And then nobody likes them. And so I delete them. Alright, bye!